I feel like for the first time in my life, I have such a good handle on where I am with movement routines. And it has taken me so long to get to this point. I kid you not, so freaking long. And I think there are a lot of things that I did that not everyone has to go through. I just kind of made myself take the harder route in a lot of ways. So I'm going to share with you where I'm at with my fitness routine, what I'm actually doing, why I'm doing it this way, and then some of the pitfalls that I think maybe you could avoid in resetting, okay? Because it has been a really long time. So back in 2023, oh my gosh, that's almost literally been 2 years, whatever. I had this blood panel done. Was this 23 or 24? Okay, no, it was so in December of 2023, I had a blood panel done, and basically they were like, hey, there's a lot going on with your body and hormones and health and all of this, and like we kind of need to do some work. And there that started this entire situation of me trying to figure out what the heck wellness actually meant, because I was doing like the whole ice rolling, and I was doing the whole like hot girl walks and whatever, and I felt like I was chasing trends more than actual health improvement, if that makes sense. So what I have now come to today is genuinely feeling like I am seeing so much improvement in my health, and it's just compounding, and I'm feeling more confident and stronger than ever. So how I got here, all of the things. So when I had this blood panel done, I was very shook. I was very upset. Just kind of like what the heck happened. And I honestly had not been doing a good job prior to that of taking care of my body. I had just kind of like given up in a lot of ways, as far as like having an actual fitness routine, having an actual idea of what it looked like to eat healthy. I think I had gone so far in the name of not restricting myself that I had created really bad habits that were actually harming myself more than benefiting my eating disorder recovery. Okay. So let's flash forward a little bit then. It's February, and I was really starting to gain control of the eating side of it. Like I had cut out a lot of pastas, a lot of the dairy, the gluten, all of that, and really started focusing more on whole foods and protein and just all of those things. Okay, so really great. I was seeing great improvement there. Also started taking supplements, which I have now also refined to the point where I'm very confident in the supplements I'm taking. So I take a vitamin D, I take a like a fish oil, and then I take a probiotic, prebiotic mixture, and zinc. Okay, so those are the supplements that I'm taking, but it took me a while to figure out what to take, why, how to avoid vitamin B12 for inflammation, for skin raisins. Like it's just been a journey, okay? But that's not why we're here. And during that time, I decided to start trying Muay Thai, and so Muay Thai is like a form of fighting. And I loved it. It was so fun. But I was literally, so they were 45-minute classes. I was so gassed at the end of them. And we had like a guest trainer from Brazil come in, and he started training me, and he would do conditioning for the last 15 minutes. So we would do warm up, then our actual like fighting drills, sparring, and then conditioning. And the conditioning was brutal. I mean, we were talking 30 seconds of flutter kicks, and I was like dead. I like could not keep up at all. And he was just kind of like shocked. And he we had a hard time like communicating sometimes because he didn't really speak great English, and I obviously did not speak Portuguese. And so we were just kind of like sometimes stare at each other and like try to figure out what the other one was saying, because we were not speaking the same language. And you could just see his face of like kind of like this awe of like, how in the world is this girl in this position? Like she can't even hang. And I felt like it really wasn't even getting better. Like I was just constantly gassed. So anyways, gave up Muay Thai. Well, when they they asked me to start going to the sparring classes, like with the boys, and the boys are really intense. Okay. I was not there to actually get punched. I was not there to actually be physically harmed. I was there to, well, learn how to fight and punch others. Okay. I wasn't ready for this. So that freaked me out. But then more than that, it was also $130 a month. And the classes were 3 times a week, so it's pretty good. But this was also like a transition time for us. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm out. I'm not going to do the Muay Thai anymore. So I stopped that and then went on vacation. And during that vacation, just kind of had like a moment where I was like, wow, I am not like stewarding my body well. I'm not taking care of myself. We need to reset here. So came back, and this was in March of 2024. And I completely kind of like reset as far as like what a routine for fitness looks like. And so I started 4 to 5 times a week doing at home workouts. Okay. And this was a bare minimum for me. So this is now not what I do. But at the time, having no routine, having nothing, this was a foundation I had to set myself. So 4 to 5 like at home workouts. I used the app Fit On. They were free workouts, usually like some sort of Pilates. I loved the Pilates ones so much. Strength training on occasion, but not usually that often. So this was kind of my focus. Okay. And I did that consistently for like literally about a year. Okay. Like literally a year of just 4 to 5 workouts every single week because I could take these with me. So I was doing them on vacation. They were like 20 to 30 minutes usually, some of them a little shorter, some of them a little longer. And I created a base for myself, but it took me literally a year before I was like, you know what, I should probably take this to the next level. Like I feel stronger, I feel a little bit more equipped, but I feel like I could go even further than this. And I don't think I needed that full year. I think I clearly mentally did. I wasn't mentally ready to keep going and pushing myself, but I think I should have. I should have pushed myself earlier on. And it just took a little bit longer. So then flash forward to now 2025, and this is where I am now. And over the last couple of months, I have gotten into the strength training portion as well. And strength training to me felt very ominous. And this is literally coming from someone who would go to the gym in high school, like 3 to 5 times a week with my volleyball team. And like I was very used to like racking weights and setting up for a squat and then setting up for a bench press. Like this wasn't foreign to me. I'd done this before, but I also didn't really know how to do strength training in a way that made me want to come back, because what would happen in the past is I would do this and I would get bored or I would not like it, and then I would just never do it again. And I know that about myself. I know that I get bored in workouts quickly. So what does it look like to kind of keep things changing and stuff like that? So it was just kind of like a very long process of figuring out how to work out in a way that I actually appreciated. So here's where I'm at, and here's what's actually sticking and what I'm really enjoying, okay? I do 3 strength training days a week, an upper, a lower, and a full body, okay? So the upper is going to be a lot of curls. It's going to be a lot of extensions with a dumbbell. So I use 10-pound dumbbells, and they're a little heavy for some of the workouts and a little light for some of the other workouts. But and listen, I could go to a gym and work out exactly with whatever dumbbell I wanted, but for my at-home workouts, I just prefer them. I prefer at-home workouts, and I feel like I'm seeing really good results, and just feeling really, really confident in the way that my muscle definition's coming in, all of that. So anyways, lower is going to be mostly with those like thigh bands. I think they're called Peach Bands, maybe. That's the brand I have, at least. And so I do a lot of like squats with that, a lot of extensions with that, and I just really, really enjoy that. And then a full body is going to be a mixture. Now, for those actual workout exercises, there's a couple different things that you can use. Fit On is still great. Free workouts, it's good, but I kind of got bored with them, I think, because I'd been using them for so long. So there's another app called Sesh, SESH. I worked with them a little bit. They were fantastic. I love it. They have programs set up, but then they also have it set where you can like hit that you just want to shake up a workout because maybe you're not enjoying some of the things, and like it'll create a different workout for you. Really, really great. Absolutely love it. That's fantastic. I'm also really enjoying following Shelby Sacco's, just kind of like her fitness journey and the way she like works on some of her workouts and especially some of her recipes. So that's a really good place to start. And then ChatGPT will make you a great workout, and it's so helpful because I will just tell it certain workouts that I really just don't like doing and try to avoid it. Like, there's something about a plank to me that is like the absolute bane of my existence. So about once a week, I will try to do a 1-minute plank just because I want to push myself to do things that I hate, but I also literally hate planks. So all these like workouts that are like, get in plank position and then tap your shoulders and roll over and whatever. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. Thank you though. So I feel like that is also a slightly, okay, maybe this is a bad tip, but I'm going to give it because I feel like it helps. There are going to be some workouts that you literally hate. For me, it's anything in the plank position. I like literally hate it. And there will be times where I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to try it this time. But also there are a lot of times where like, just to give myself grace, I'll be like, you know what? I'm not going to do that specific move. I'm going to replace it with something else. And, you know, there's muscle groups and all these reasons and stuff. But also I feel like if it means me working out versus me not working out, I'm going to give myself the freedom to skip a workout move that I really don't like and replace it with a different rep. Anyways, hot take, but I stand by it. So anyways, 3 days of strength training, that's how that kind of shakes out. And then I do 2 to 3 days of Pilates, depending on the week. So Pilates, I love because it helps a lot with mobility, core. I feel like I'm getting a stretch in while still really getting to work the muscles. So I absolutely do 2 to 3 days of Pilates. And this is not reformer Pilates or anything like that. It's going to be mat Pilates. And that will just kind of depend then on what I have going on that week if I get that third day in. So the goal is, you know, to work out 6 times a week, because the Pilates is a little lighter, and I usually will do 15 to 20 minute Pilates workouts. Okay. So my strength trainings are like usually around 30 to 45 minutes. My Pilates will be 15 to, 20, 25. And I appreciate that so much because they're a little bit shorter, they're a little bit lighter, but I still really feel the burn and I feel great after Pilates. I love it, love it, love it. It's my absolute favorite and I don't want to give that up. Those I will sometimes have be targeted like upper, lower, whatever, but usually it's just like a full body core focus. Always a core focus on that though. And I love that so much. I feel like it just leaves me feeling so much stronger. I feel like my posture is getting better, really focusing on my core. So all of that's been great. And then the other thing that I've been really incorporating is getting at least 10K steps every day that I possibly can. So for me, that's usually 6 out of the 7 days. There's always a day of the week where I just kind of like crash and I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like doing anything. And I think because I work really long hours all the rest of the week and I'm really, really focused and I don't necessarily rest each day. Like usually I work until like 7 or 8 p.m. editing things or pushing out content or doing work for another company or, whatever it is. So because of that, I feel like there's always like usually on Fridays, I just kind of hit a wall and I don't want to do anything. So I don't always get 10K steps on Fridays, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with allowing myself one day of not hitting 10K steps. The rest of the week I do. So that usually right now, what it's looking like is a walk in the morning before work, before anything else besides my Bible study, and then a post-dinner walk I've really been enjoying. I'll take that with Matt and we will literally finish up dinner and then go take like a digestion little walk, and it's so fun and I feel like we get really good connection time, the two of us, and also it's just helps me reach my steps then. So the evening walks are usually where I'll make sure that I'm at my 10K for the day. And usually I push myself past 10K. Right now my goal is more like 12,000, 13,000, but minimum 10K steps a day. And I feel like that's just kind of making sure that like a body in motion stays in motion. Like I'm adding in a lot of movement to my day. So focused muscle work, but then also just like general movement to make sure that I am not just sitting all day long. So that's kind of the routine that I have set up. And then what I've also enjoyed doing is when I decide to like slow down and watch like a show in the evenings, I have loved doing light yoga during that. Okay. And I'm not talking about like full blown yoga, crazy or anything like that. And I guess maybe I shouldn't even call it yoga. I'm not going to call it yoga. It's more of stretching. like I stretch at night now. And I feel like it has been made a massive difference, not only in the fact that my muscles don't really get sore anymore, but more in the fact that like I just feel a little bit like leaner and more, I wish there's not really a good synonym for flexible here. Yeah, I just feel very flexible and I feel really good about that, and I feel like my back is not hurting as much anymore. It's just really great. So stretching at night while I'm watching a show, and that's great because usually I just be sitting there anyways, so I just get on the floor and do some stretches and I feel really great after that. So incorporating stretching, making sure I'm hitting my steps, and just remembering that like my body wants to move, it wants to be a movement. So the same way I'm constantly using my brain, I'm constantly trying to learn and grow, I really want to constantly just be in movement and taking care of my body and allowing it to do what it does best. And so 3 times strength training, 2 to 3 times Pilates, stretching as much as possible, walking as much as possible, and that's it. Like I'm not running, I'm not doing anything else, and I feel fantastic. I feel really, really good. Obviously, there is an entire like food portion of this that I'll talk about later, but that has also kind of had like a recent revolution that's been really, really nice. But yeah, this is where we're focused. This is what's happening, and I've loved it so much. So hopefully, this can kind of help you push yourself to do movement, but also give yourself grace to maybe not do the movement that you think you have to. So maybe this is something you want to try, give it a shot. There's a couple tools there, and just remember that like the sooner you start, the better you will feel. There's that saying that the best time to plant an oak tree was 20 years ago. Well, start today, start doing the movement, and trust me, not just for aesthetics, but really just your body will thank you so much because it'll feel so much stronger and better. So 10 out of 10 recommend, and hope this helps.